everyone, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at the fourth wave of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection from Hasbro. As always, the box artwork continues to be on point. You can see here the fourth wave is comprised of Cybervillian Blaze from Power Rangers Beast Morphers, Power Rangers Zeo Blue Ranger, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Yellow Ranger, and then Power Rangers S.P.D Red Ranger. So very, very cool. Pretty excited about these. The civilian head for Blaze is pretty crazy accurate. I think they're really starting to crush it for most of these civilian heads. You'll see what I mean in a moment. So Beast Morphers, Cybervillian Blaze. You can see how the artwork on the front of the box kind of wraps around to the side. And then you have a nice picture of the figure there on the back. This is the Zeo Blue Ranger, and as I was saying, I really don't know whose head that's supposed to be, but it really does not look like Rocky. I feel like, you know, one a wave they kind of biff. I don't know why they're so good with some and so terrible with others, but here is the Zeo Blue Ranger. Again, artwork very, very cool there. Nice picture of Rocky there on the back. Now, originally, he was supposed to have his tonfas, but they got omitted at the last minute there, so guessing it was a budget thing, which is kind of a bummer, but we'll survive. Now, if you wanted to, you could put this head on the Red Ranger, but it still wouldn't look like Rocky as MMPR Red, in my opinion. Also, I don't have the MMPR Red Ranger. I only have the Armored Red, which Rocky never wore, so it wouldn't make sense. Anyway, as I knock things over, here is MMPR Yellow with the Trini Head. Trini Head looks great. I couldn't be happier with the Trini Head. Has a a blaster version of the Blade Blaster, 2 daggers, some extra hands. She's got some effect pieces hidden behind here. Artwork looks really good. So very happy about that. And then last but not least, we have S.P.D Red. I think this head looks pretty good. He has his 2 guns, which I believe do combine from what I've heard. He's got his morpher. I think it's kind of funny. The black right here on the helmet should probably stop about here. But it is drawn wrong on the artwork and the figure, you can tell. I just think it's funny because, like, when you look at it, it just looks too long. Like, it just looks wrong. Like, even someone who's not familiar with Power Rangers, I feel like it would look wrong to them. Like, it just looks too long. But that's neither here nor there. There's a picture of the figure on the back. You can see here he has the silver hands. Luckily, he did eventually get white hands. This is the old press photo with the wrong metal hands. I don't know what they were doing with that one. But in any case, that's it for the packaging. I'm going to go ahead and get these guys out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here are the 4 figures out of the packaging. We'll start over here with Blaze. He looks great, in my opinion. He really, really looks good. All of the silver detail. The shoulder pads are kind of a cloth piece, so I guess if you really wanted to take that off, you could. It's a little loose on there, but it's not like it's going to fall off anytime soon. It would be very difficult to get off, I think. But the head looks fantastic. He doesn't have that, like, little bit of, I don't even know what you would call it, but there's usually, like, some detailing on the one side of his eye. You can see it on the packaging. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's like a scope or something with his visor, but that is not actually detailed on there. It is just painted the full orange, but still looks really good. All the silver looks nice. Articulation wise, they're all pretty much the same, but just to go over it, they have the head can swivel. There's a neck swivel as well as a ball joint, so you can move that all around. Joints in and out. I don't think, no, he does. You can see there, he does have the butterfly. They all do have that butterfly shoulder, so you can do side to side, up and down, rotate around, of course, bicep swivel, nice double elbow joint there. Wrists can spin, and you can actually pull the whole hand out. You can also bend it at the wrist. And he does come with some alternate fists. He comes with just 2 completely closed fists. So here is the other one. Otherwise, he's got kind of a ball joint there in the torso. He's also got like a bend there at the waist, kind of an ab crunch. He's got hips out to the side. Can't go that far back because of his butt skirt, but he does have a thigh swivel. Double jointed knees. Does he have a boot swivel? Yes, he does have a boot swivel. And then he's got typical ankle joint as well as side to side. So he's got some really nice articulation. And I will say the joints feel very fluid, which is nice. They're not too loose, but they're not too stiff. They move very easily. He is a really nice looking figure. We got to talk about this head, his civilian head. That is just brilliantly done. I cannot get over how good that looks. I mean, that is a really nice likeness. Very, very well done. If you want to switch out the head, I'm not going to do it, but you just pop the helmet right off, pop the other head right on. It's just on a ball joint there, so very nice. But that is a really great likeness. I don't usually go for civilian heads, like I like the helmets, but if I was going to pick a display of a civilian head, this would be at the top of my list because that's really, really well done. Here is the sword that he comes with. So we can go ahead and put this into his hand pretty simply. He also comes with a weird effect piece. We've seen this one before. I'm pretty sure this is the same one from Zed and Zeo Gold. It's, I don't know, these things are a mess in my opinion. Some people love them. That's great. I'm glad you do. It looks okay. But, I don't know. To me, it's not that great. The color, though, it reminds me like Ghostbusters, something Ghostbusters-esque, but that's neither here nor there. The last accessory that he comes with is this cool little briefcase. You can see it's got a gold handle. It's got two green bottles there of Morph-X, and it does open up, and you can see it says virus loading. It's got the two Morph-X canisters. It's got some controls down here. That's a really cool accessory. I never would have thought to include this with him, but I think it's very, very cool. So he can go ahead and sorry, it looked like the sticker was peeling there on the side, but I think it's okay. Pretty sure, yeah, this is a sticker. It's a really cool accessory. I mean, it's something that definitely makes sense for the context of Beast Morphers, and I really like it. I like it quite a bit. Let's see if we can get him to go ahead and hold this. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. As I say that and then have a huge issue with it. Sounds about right. Oh, also his morpher, you can see, looks really, really good. Nicely detailed there. I'm sure I can get this to happen. I just have to... There we go. Sometimes you just got to move the fingers around. So it's a little awkward, but he can totally do it. So I really, really like Blaze. He looks fantastic. Excellent articulation. Great accessories. The head that he comes with is amazing. He's definitely at the top of my list for this wave. He's really, really good. Next up, we have Zeo Blue. He's not bad. I don't know. I'm kind of tired of Hasbro tackling all the figures that we've already gotten from Bandai. Like, you have so many different Rangers to get through. Start at the other end. I understand that one day you'll redo what Bandai did, but it doesn't have to be right at the beginning, in my opinion. But what are you going to do? Still a good-looking figure. He's got some smudging here. Now, I'm not sure if this is, like, the plastic got little like rub draw there, or it's just maybe some sticky stuff I can clean off. I'll have to take a look. It's not a huge problem. You can probably barely see it on camera, but he also has a little bit of like paint mess up on the belt, but again, it's pretty minor, and from far away you can really not see it that much. So I will say there is something a little weird going on with his helmet. You can kind of see where the silver line kind of stops and then juts up and goes over. Again, it's one of those things that you really, like, if you just kind of put the figure here, you don't really notice it. I think he's given like a rock eyebrow. Like, you know, he's doing that somebody said something and he's going, huh? What? But honestly, it's a pretty good figure, I have to say. He's got the Same articulation as Blaze. His butterfly shoulder there is even more prevalent because he doesn't have the shoulder pad thing. Otherwise, all the same articulation as Blaze. He's got the gold painted here on the belt as well as the cuffs. And you can tell it's definitely gold paint. The Bandai one was not so gold. This one's definitely gold. So he looks good there. But yeah, let's get into these accessories that he comes with. So he does have the sword, which I think looks very good. Very nicely detailed, very nicely painted. Unfortunately, even though it looks like it telescopes, it does not. That's really kind of a bummer in my opinion. All they would have had to do is just have that little bit telescope right there, and it would have been perfect. And then it would have fit into the holster. I mean, it's still going to fit in the holster. I would assume it goes in this one over here. So, I mean, it's not that big a deal. You can kind of put it in like a normal sword would, and it looks fine. I just think it would have been cooler if it, you know, like I said, since it already looks like it telescopes, it would have been neat if it did, just so that it wouldn't hang down so far, but it's not a big deal. He also comes with the gun, which you can see the paint is a little iffy, where kind of the black is on top of the white, or maybe it's white on top of black, I'm not really sure, but you can see that it just kind of bleeds away. The gold's fairly good though. And then that will go over here in the other holster. So, pretty cool. I mean, he looks good with both the weapons holstered. I'm going to take the sword out and let him hold it. But you can see he's got, you know, a finger for the gun over here for the trigger finger. And then this is kind of a normal hand. But overall, I think he looks pretty good. Let me zoom back out here. So not a bad figure. The last of his accessories, he has this weird effect piece, which you can see it's meant for like a rectangular blade. You can get it on the end of the sword, but it's difficult and it looks weird, so I don't know. I don't really go for these effect pieces all that much, I'll be honest. And then last but not least, we have the civilian head. And I have to admit, honestly, the more I look at this, it still in no way looks like Steve Cardenas. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. I mean, it's a decent looking head of somebody that we don't know. You know, it looks like a person. I just don't know what person it's supposed to look like. So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. I don't know. Like I said, swing and a miss. There's always one they kind of get wrong. He also comes with 2 closed fists, just like Blaze did. So if you want to swap the fists out, you can. But I definitely think he looks good. I just think that civilian head is not really that great. And I wish the blade telescoped. Other than that, pretty cool. Moving on to Mighty Morphin Yellow. I think she looks great. I really have to applaud Hasbro for making normal looking female figures. And by that I mean, I think we all can admit that the bust size of the Bandai figures was kind of ridiculous. And this looks like a normal woman's proportions, which I think is very good. Definitely, you know, makes the figure look just better in my opinion. I think it makes it look, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, just doesn't look cartoony or like comic bookish, or a lot of times like you'll see female figures in comic books drawn wildly out of proportion and it makes them seem less real. You know what I mean? This kind of gives a more authentic, I guess authentic look, for lack of a better term. But in any case, the figure looks very good. The helmet, I think, looks fantastic. They did a great job with the helmet. That's very sharp, very nice. I like that quite a bit. She does have a little bit of paint imperfections on the power coin there. You can see, I'm not quite sure what happened. It almost looks like the gold paint maybe had a bubble or something, and then the bubble popped. And that's why those couple areas aren't covered. So I don't know, maybe if I got like a little gold paint marker or something, I could fill that in. Her articulation is a little bit different from the guys, only because her arms are thinner, so she only has 1 elbow joint instead of 2. but then she has a swivel there. The hands are still the same. She does have the butterfly joint in the shoulder. The shoulder's the same. She does have the kind of torso swirl, as well as she does have that ab crunch, but it's, I don't know, it's kind of difficult to get it to move, and I'm a little worried about it, but it does move. I've gotten it to move, but it's a little dicey. Kick forward, kick out to the side, thigh swivel. She does have the boot cuff swivel. It is kind of funny too how they make the boots like much larger than her legs. I don't know if that's like a stability thing or whatnot. It doesn't look bad or anything. I just think it's funny. She does come with a blade blaster in blaster mode, which you can go ahead and slip into her holster there. She has two kind of normal weapon holding hands right now, which are going to be for the daggers that I'll show off in a moment. She does have more of a blaster hand, which is nice, so you can go ahead and switch that out. And then she also has kind of a karate chop hand, which I think is pretty cool. The Trini Head looks fantastic. They did such a nice job with this. I'm really happy with what they did here. It looks great. Really, really nice there. I'm glad that they included this. Absolutely thrilled with the head there. The two daggers, I believe, are the same as the ones that came in the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, because you can see that they are set up to become barrels of a blaster there. So let's zoom out here, and then we have the two daggers, which I will pop into her hands. I said I will pop them into her hand. There we go. So there you go. She's got the two daggers. Looks good. The last thing she comes with, more of these ridiculous, where is the, I think it's in here. These effect pieces are just super goofy, but you can go ahead and put these on, and what we have affectionately dubbed sparkler mode. Where is the hole on these things? There we go. So, you know, she's all ready for a 4th of July barbecue. She's going to spell out her name with her little sparklers. I don't know. I gotta be honest. If somebody loves these effect pieces, I'm happy for you, but I would be happy to just get rid of them all. With the exception of like 2 or 3 throughout this entire line. I think they're goofy, and if you could throw that money into something else, like another accessory, I'd be here for it. I do not get the effect pieces. The blaster ones, like for blasters, I think it works. Like, and we'll get to that in a moment, because Jack has a really nice blaster effect piece that I think is going to work. So getting here to S.P.D. Red. The helmet looks good, with the obvious exception that front black piece is just a little too long. It should have stopped probably about there, but I can live with it. It's not terrible. I mean, from the side, that looks great. You have the silver all painted very nicely. For the most part, the helmet looks great. Articulation's same as all the other fellas. Nice joints, no problem with the movement there. Oh, that one got a little stiff on me, but there we go. Only problem, you can see the black bled into the white on the one just a little bit. Not terrible, just a little bit. But you can see it says S.P.D. there on his belt buckle, and he's got his 2 holsters. We'll get to that in a moment. Otherwise, pretty simple, standard red plastic for the legs. Got that little bit of silver and black there on the boot cuff. And again, he's got all that same articulation. But yeah, he looks really, really good. I like him quite a bit. He does have a pretty convincing head sculpt. I think that looks pretty good. Looks like the actor, not the cosplayer. That got fixed, so that's fantastic. Very, very good there. He comes with these 2... This is like a... I'm not sure if this is just like a standard kind of karate pose type of thing, and like a karate chop hand. but he does have this kind of open, like, grasping hand. And then he comes with these two guns, which look fantastic, really nicely painted on both sides. You can peg them together. You can see how they both have a peg, and then that's going to peg into the back here. Now I will say I've done this once or twice, and it is very tight, as you can hear there, and the red paint from this is kind of bleeding onto the white peg from over here, so just be careful with that. And when you go to take these out, be very careful, because it is a very snug fit. I don't want that to break in there. But he does have this effect piece that I think totally works. You can go ahead and just plug that right on there. Or you can plug it onto this one. It works on both. So this is one time when I actually applaud an effect piece. I think the blaster effect pieces work really well. And then of course these can fit on his belt. I'm not sure if I have them in the right one, but I think they probably work in either. Let's see what happens if I switch them just for argument's sake. Yeah, I don't think it matters, honestly. But yeah, the blasters fit there really nicely. And then he's got two kind of trigger hands. So let's go ahead and put, actually, yeah, this has got to be. This one has a much thicker butt of the gun. What do you call that? The handle? I don't know. So there we go. His elbow's a little tight. Most of the joints are very fluid, but every once in a while you come across something that's just a little tight. But yeah, that looks really good. I'm really happy with that. I gotta say, it's a good wave. It really is a good wave. There's a few minor things, you know, if you're nitpicking and you wanted to make it absolutely perfect. But for the most part, they're definitely pretty good. Couple things real quick. Just want to do a few comparisons real fast. Here is the like 6-inch normal line blaze against the Lightning Collection blaze, and I think you can see it's quite different. I will say that the sword accessory is pretty close. It's pretty close, I gotta be honest. Almost the same length, painted pretty much the same. This guy comes with the Cheetah Blaster and the Blaze color scheme. Of course, you know, Blaze doesn't have outward leg movement in the 6-inch line. But I think you can tell which one is the better figure. But this guy's not bad, I gotta say. And they're a little bit shorter. Maybe just a fraction. They're pretty much the same, but yeah, just for fun, I wanted to do a comparison of that. And then also, whoops, there's a bit close above my arm there. Got to do Bandai versus Hasbro, the showdown. Now, I would do Mighty Morphin Yellow as well, but I forgot I packed that away a long time ago in preparation of this new yellow, and I have not packed this guy away yet. So, putting these next to each other, like I said, you can definitely tell this is all painted gold. This is mostly like that butterscotch plastic. So the Bandai one is a little bit taller. But if you do want a shrunk down version of the sword, you can kind of steal the Bandai one. It's a little bit longer, as you can see. So it's just a tad longer. Could you put it in here? Would it look absolutely ridiculous? Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like it's a little too thick. Like they maybe had this in mind and did it on purpose. They don't want to be compatible with Bandai. So yeah, it doesn't really fit, unfortunately. I was kind of hoping maybe just to steal that and pop it over here, but it's just a little too thick. I mean, if you forced it, you could probably get it to work. But, I mean, putting them next to each other, I am going to say, yes, I think the Hasbro one is better. because the gold really pops against the blue. And I didn't really notice it before, but I think this not like a little bit squatter triangle is better than this like really tall triangle over here. I don't know why. This one just seems a little too tall now next to this one. I think this one's better. So yeah, I would say the Hasbro one is better. But again, do some things we haven't gotten yet. While yes, you are making better figures. We all know this. You don't have to prove yourself anymore. We get it. You know, give us something new. Yes, this is better. I agree, it is. This isn't terrible, but this is better over here. So this is a really nice wave, I have to say. It's really hard for me. I was thinking about it, trying to pick a favorite, and it's kind of difficult. They're all really good in their own ways. Blaze is fantastic. He looks amazing. Definitely a vast improvement over the 6-inch figure from the normal line. The civilian head he comes with is fantastic. His accessories are good. All his joints feel really fluid and nice. I have really no complaints about him at all. Zeo Blue, again, while I didn't need it this soon, this close to the Bandai release, it is a better figure. I definitely think so. The gold paint definitely pops with the blue, especially when you sit it next to the Bandai one. It really comes through. I think the weapons are better. It would be nice if that sword telescoped, but I can get over it. The civilian head for Rocky really doesn't look that great. That's pretty much my only major gripe for the whole wave, is just his civilian head. Also, his Tonfas got eliminated at the last minute there. Would have been nice to get them. I can live without him, but would have been nice. Mighty Morphin Yellow, great. Looks good. Trini Head's fantastic. The daggers look good. Really, everything about her is great. S.P.D. Red, kind of the same thing. His helmet is that little bit of extra black there in the top of the visor, which should be a little truncated, but for the most part, he looks great. The black paint bled a little bit into the white for the number 1. Again, not a huge deal breaker, especially when you're just looking at him on a shelf. It's hard to tell. It's really when you get close. But his accessories are great. His civilian head's good as well. Oh, I forgot to mention, he does come with a S.P.D. badge. I forgot to show that off, but it's very similar to the one that comes with Doggy Kruger. But now it is white instead of black, so he does have the S.P.D. badge. But yeah, I mean, their accessories are all really great. The effect pieces don't really do it for me. I love the blaster effect piece for S.P.D. Red, but other than that, the rest of them are kind of goofy. But yeah, really good figures. Definitely recommend picking them up. I got mine from Hasbro Pulse, so they might still be in stock on there. Amazon probably will have them soon if they don't already. Otherwise, they should probably start showing up at Target sometime soonish. So happy hunting if you're trying to track these down. But yeah, I definitely recommend picking them up because they're really good figures. So that's going to do it for this one. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.